Don't hate on 2020. Hey y'all, happy Friday. Welcome back to Fearless Fridays. Today is Friday, August 21st. This is episode 65 of Fearless Fridays. And as always, I welcome you to the show. If it's your first time, welcome to the show. If you are a return watcher, thank you so much for returning and joining me again. So listen, don't hate on 2020. I know it's been a crazy year. We are in August, and this is month 5 of a pandemic. Are we still in a pandemic? Are people still quarantined? I don't even know anymore. It's like every man, woman, child for him or herself. But the thing that I have noticed is that a lot of people are saying, oh, 2020 is canceled. I mean, people have been canceling 2020 for the past few months. But people feel like 2020 is a wash, depending on the situation, depending on their work situation, depending on their life situation, depending on the lack of travel, depending on all kinds of things. People are kind of ready to step into 2021 already and either restart 2020 or throw 2020 away completely. And I want to tell y'all, don't hate on 2020. And the reason I'm saying that is because there is something in this process. There is something in this squeezing that has been happening this year that is necessary for all of us. There is something that is necessary for all of us. And I have to remind myself often, and this is something that I'm really learning and really settling into, it's don't despise the process. The process is not always going to be easy. The process isn't always going to be rose colored. It's not going to always be walking on sunshine. It's not going to always be, hearts and rainbows and all kinds of things. There are difficult parts to the process. There are difficult parts to the journey. But I think we all know by now, or we've all heard by now, that many of the lessons and many of the blessings of life come through the journey. But you won't recognize those lessons and you won't recognize those blessings if you're despising parts of the journey. So I know that there are moments, there have been moments, and there still are moments for many of us from this year that have been difficult. There's a lot of things up in the air. We got, presidential elections coming up. We're still kind of in the midst of a pandemic. I think financial disturbances, civil unrest, all kinds of things are happening in our country and even throughout the world. A lot of people are waking up to a lot of things that they've never seen before or things that they've never paid attention to before. And a lot of people are feeling angsty and feeling anxious and feeling just weird. A lot of people are feeling like we're in limbo. But there's something to be learned. There's something to be learned in the process. There's something to be learned in the shutting down. There's something to be learned in even in the unrest. There's social unrest going on all around us. And I think a lot of people have been forced to look inside and see what part of the social unrest is also unrest within themselves. And so that's part of the process. It's part of the journey. Like I said, it's not always sunshine and roses and rainbows. Sometimes it's difficult. It can be an uphill climb. It can be a rocky climb. It could be a long, desolate path at times. But whenever you're going through the woods, whenever you're going through the jungle, you're going to get to a clearing. You're going to get to fresh water. You're going to get to light. You're going to get to sunlight. You're going to get to rest. You're going to get to peace. So even in the midst of tumultuous moments, even in the midst of this crazy year, I hope that at this point, we've all found those moments of rest. We've all found those moments of reprieve. We've all found those moments of looking within ourselves and figuring out, what can I learn in the midst of uncertainty, in the midst of unrest, in the midst of anxiety? What have I learned? What have I learned about myself? What have I learned about how I show up in the world? What have I learned about how I deal with anxiety and how I deal with fear? What have I learned about how I deal with the people in my sphere? What have I learned? What have I learned? Am I living and walking in purpose and on purpose? Am I maintaining joy? Am I bringing joy to other people's lives? Am I connecting with people who are important to me? Am I connecting with God? Am I connecting with myself? Like, these are all the questions that we can all be asking ourselves in the midst of this crazy time, you know? And like I said, this is month 5. This, you know, whole pandemic life started in March. We're now in August, almost September. So at this point, we can't throw it away. We can't throw it away. There are still things to be done. There's still things to be learned. There are still fights to be fought. There is still peace to be found. There is still joy to be found. And you can always learn the lesson if you take the time to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. Even the difficult moments. You're not necessarily going to enjoy every moment. You're not necessarily going to love every single moment on the journey or love every single part of the process, but you have to know that the process is what works things out inside of you. Once you get to the promised land, hopefully the process has worked a lot of stuff out inside of you. So as much as we may want to throw this year away and leave this year behind and just get on with it and, oh, when is this going to be over? Rather than lamenting and wallowing in the uncertainty of it all, maybe just enjoy the journey. Maybe just enjoy the process. Maybe just be in the moment. That can be really difficult, to sit in the moment and find peace within yourself, even in the midst of craziness going on out there. Find your moments of peace within yourself and enjoy the process. Don't despise the process, because the process is what gets you ready for the promised land. The process is what gets you prepared for the place you want to be. The process is what gets you ready for the moment that you are holding up in the light. You know what I mean? We all have that moment. We all have that place we want to be. We all want to get there. If you've been hanging with me in Fearless Fridays for any amount of time, you know I did an episode about how there never really comes. Check that one out. I don't remember which number it is, but just watch them all. But there is not a real place, because as soon as you get there, there's a new there. And that's the journey. That's the process, is recognizing that every single step takes you closer to there. But even when you get there, there are going to be more steps to get you to a new there. So remember that. Remember that. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. Don't despise the process. Find the peaceful moments within yourself. Find the moments where you can breathe. Find the moments where you can bask in the sun. Find the moments where you can be silent within yourself. Find the moments where you can dive into yourself and figure out, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What's happening? What am I learning? How am I growing? How am I changing? Because all of those things should be happening. All of those things should be happening. So I just wanted to give y'all a bit of encouragement with that today. Don't despise the process. Don't despise the process, because the process is really the thing that solidifies who you are, and that teaches you who you are and helps you see who you are and what changes you need to make in order to be the person that you want to be. So don't despise the process. 2 announcements. So many of you know that I was meant to speak at a travel conference in Rwanda in October. And of course, 2020 being what it is, the travel conference in Rwanda is now going to be online. So it's the International Black Women's Travel Jubilee, Rally and Rejoice. It is happening in October. And tickets are on sale right now. Early bird tickets are on sale right now. So if you're watching this on Instagram, you can go to the link in my profile and click Rally and Rejoice, and you can get your early bird ticket. I'm super excited for what I'm going to be sharing. I'll be sharing on October 4th. And I'm super excited to be sharing about the fear structure, breaking down the fear structure. But yeah, go to the link in my bio on Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will put a link down below on YouTube. So that's one announcement. Second announcement, next Saturday, I will be hosting, I think that's August the 29th, I will be hosting the August session, the Fearless Life session for August, the Fearless Life workshop. So if you want to join me for an hour to work through some fears and to learn the process of unpacking fear, I would love to have you. That link is also in my bio on Instagram, and just click on the Fearless Life, and I will also put that link down below on YouTube so that you can check that out. So yeah, International Black Women's Travel Jubilee Rally and Rejoice, and the Fearless Life happening August 29th. Sign up quickly so that you can get the link to join me. And I'm super excited for both of those things, and I hope that you guys will join me. So yeah, as always, fear is stupid. Get out in the world, live, love, go, do, be, and don't despise the process. It is teaching you something about yourself. It is preparing you for what's coming next. It is solidifying who you are. It is solidifying your character. It's blessing you. So take the time to see the blessing in the journey. Don't despise the journey. I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.